Fever have looked decent. I'm not going to again judge too much by them playing the Brazilian national team. Because let's be real. Regardless, I said it when the Sky played them. I'll say it again when the Fever played them. This team's not good. I understand a lot of people wanted to hype up the Sky for beating a national team that might not be better than Ireland without Damaris Dantas and what you call it, and I'm struggling thinking of names. Camila Cardoso, but we did learn some things from the Fever, especially in the other game the Fever played. And one of the things we did learn, it's going to be the impact of Sophie Cunningham. And one of the things a lot of people were saying when it came to Sophie Cunningham was that, none of these players are afraid. It's like none of these players are afraid of her. You can still see players going at Sophie Cunningham. Yeah, that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point. Like, do people not realize it? Like, if anything, people are like, and people aren't going to want to mess with Sophie Cunningham. No, everyone wants to mess with Sophie Cunningham. But people aren't going to mess with Caitlin Clark. If people go near Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham's immediately stepping in. If you mess with Sophie Cunningham, DeWanna Bonner is going to be stepping in. It just brings an edge to the team. It brings an edge to the team. Last year, you've seen it. Stephanie White is a bit of an edge. This team has an edge. And regardless of, look, Sophie Cunningham as a player is very good. Sophie Cunningham genuinely as a player, I think that she fits perfectly because she swings the ball. She can play the 1. She can play the 2. She can play the 3. She can play the 4. She rebounds pretty well. She's a good, not great, but good defender. She can pass. She shoots 40% on 3. She's exactly what you need in a role player. And these are the type of players that in the WNBA are just supremely underrated, if you get what I mean. Like, they are absolutely underrated because this league has very much talked about one-dimensional players. Versatility has not been in any way, not that it's been discouraged, but in a league of Katie Lou's getting max contracts for doing one thing, in a league of Tiara McCowan getting max contracts when she can't play just because she's tall, this is a league where they've had one-dimensional players, and it's the reason why Leonie Fibic last year was seen as being so poor. Leonie Fibic was, not seen as so poor, seen as an end-of-the-bench player, when in fact she's an all-star. She is 6'4", sniper who can play defense. But because, she's 6'4" and she can't really play in the post, they literally were saying about Leonie Fibic that, she's not going to survive in the league. And it's like, no, she's the new type of player in the league. And in the new league, Sophie Cunningham is going to really, really thrive as a player. These type of players, I wish, again, a DeWanna Bonner was a little bit younger. Because those types of players that are versatile, that can shoot, that can play defense, that can handle the ball a little bit, are going to be so much more beneficial now. So much more beneficial now than they ever were before. And now you've got a Fever team who, let's be real, they were soft. They were soft last year. They were soft. They had a soft coach in Christy Sides. Never forget, Skylar Diggins shoved Caitlin Clark into the Storm bench, and after that, they all got into it, and Christy Sides and Noelle Quinn got into it, and Christy Sides apologized. Christy Sides apologized for Skylar Diggins shoving her player into the bench. The Fever embarrassed the Seattle Storm, and the Storm just wanted to go out angry. They wanted to go out angry. So, and with that happening, did Christy Sides stand up for her player? No, Christy Sides apologized for her player. And now you've got Stephanie White, who's not going to do any of that crap. Stephanie White knew the players that he brought in, knew the types of players, and I'm telling you, Sophie Cunningham is going to change a lot with the Fever. And not just Sophie Cunningham. We can be completely honest. So is DeWanna Bonner. For everything that Sophie Cunningham does, even though a lot of people are going to want to mess with Sophie Cunningham. I'm sorry, they are. A lot, people will want to mess with Sophie Cunningham. Nobody has ever said the players don't want to try to fight Sophie Cunningham. But a lot of them do. A lot of them do try to fight them. And not only that, you have got an ultimate vet who is extremely tough in DeWanna Bonner, who is going to be backing her up. And as well as, like, you've got those type of players on the team. No one's going to want to mess with Natasha Howard. Let's be real. No one's going to want to mess with Natasha Howard. But, yeah, it's a very interesting one. And I'm a big fan of the new additions. I'm a really, really big fan of the new additions. I'm not going to lie. Like, other than Sydney Colson, like, I understand she tells jokes. I understand that's why you're bringing Sydney Colson in. But when you look at the other players in this team, for me, there are levels difference between players that are going to really affect the team in a Cunningham, in a Bonner. I think Natasha Howard's going to have good games and bad games, or in a Michaela Timpson. But from last week, this is such a big thing. And the Mystics went out to try punk them. Let's be real. The Mystics, last year, if you got physical with the Fever, it got in their head. It got into Fever's head. It's not going to do that. If anything, Fever are going to be the initiators. Like, the Fever are going to be the initiators in an awful lot of kind of like minor altercations. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Team Crash Out. I'm fine with them turning into the Phoenix Mercury of last year. I'm fine with their entire starting five being on the cusp of a suspension. I'm fine with Team Crash Out. I'm absolutely fine with Team Crash Out. Because I would rather have Team Crash Out than Team Soft. Because nobody messed. Not the people weren't getting into it with the Mercury. Everyone did. But there wasn't going to be anyone trying to punk the Phoenix Mercury last year. And I would not mind to see the Indiana Fever become a little bit of Team Crash Out. Because let's be real, everyone's saying, oh, people aren't watching the Fever because they want to see this old stuff. I mean, I'm sorry, we saw with the Fever, when Caitlin Clark is on the floor, they still have the most fun offense in the WNBA by 100 miles. So, I'm not worried one bit about how fun they are to watch. I'm not worried one bit about the viewership. To win, you can't be soft. In any pro sport, if a team sees that you're soft, they're going to go for it. They're going to go for it. Just like the thing, the Sun did in the playoffs. And Sun knew the Fever were soft. They took advantage of it. They went straight away. They went straight away physical. And ended up in an eye poke. But they knew refs weren't going to call it. They knew the Fever were soft. They knew they weren't going to come back. And in fairness, the toughest player on that Fever team last year probably was Caitlin Clark, which shouldn't be the case. Caitlin Clark is a tough player, but I'm sorry, she shouldn't be the toughest player on your team. But yeah. Well, no, sorry, Temi. What am I talking about? Temi. But yeah. That's pretty much it on Sophie Cunningham.